Haha. Yeah, yeah. The master of the stingy. Stingray Cool here. Your boy back in the building. You see what we about to talk about? The legend, the OG, the maker for Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, DC Young Fly, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence. See who else? Eddie Murphy. You know, he also was influenced by Red Fox. The man, the myth, the legend, the icon. But Richard Pryor, yeah, boy. Welcome to Stingray Cool's podcast. Know why you entertainment and drop legends on you about our ebony legends. You know, to uplift you, tell you new things, and show you there's a lot of positivity in the black community. And also, I like to make we have fun and learn something. Today's show is about Richard Pryor. Here we go. He was born Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor in December 1st, 1940, and he passed on in December 10th, 2005. He was an American stand-up comedian, actor, and writer. He reached a broad audience with his trenchant observation and storytelling style, and is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential stand-up comedians of all time. See, he was born in Pryor, Illinois, USA, and he died. He died December 10th, 2005, at the age of 65 in Los Angeles, California. His medium, stand-up film and television, years after 1963 to 2005. His genre was political satire, observational comedy, black comedy, improvisational comedy, character comedy, insult comedy. His subject was racism, race relations, American politics, African American culture. What up? What up? Yep, homosexuality, religion, self-deprecation, everyday life, and recreational drugs. Whew. All right, here we go. Rich Pryor had a lot of wives, so work with me. What up, bro? Young Thug, baby. Welcome to the Stingray Podcast. My man, the Young Thug Gizzle, my nizzle. No, to get all such right quick, I was listening to a Frederick Bang song. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago now. You know how time be. But yeah, it was a dope song. I forgot what it's called, but it's Frederick Bangs. It was a hitter. But yeah, like I said, Richard Pryor had a lot of women in his life. When you famous like that in a well-known community, you got a lot of women. He was married to the beautiful Pam Grier, aka Sheba Baby Foxy Brown. She was like the Beyonce of the '70s, minus the singers. He was like well-known, that popular of an actress in the '70s. She was the first beautiful black female icon. Studio black female icons. And some other ones I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna have to do that Black History Month. It's a lot of beautiful black sisters we had in the '70s that made a pathway for the your Nita Nyong'os, your Taraji P Hensons. Yeah, yep. I love Sanford Son. Harlem Nights was funny. I'm glad you like the legal aid, so like I don't feel guilty talking about Richard Pryor in the movies because we know some of the stuff I'm gonna have to make PG, but some we could talk about on here, and some I'm to cut short because he got a long biography. But I'm gonna make it fun to everyone, where everyone can learn something. But yeah, that Richard Pryor was something else, boy. Him and Red Fox, Eddie Murphy, especially Harlem Nights. I don't see how they could go through that movie without laughing. That movie was funny. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, that movie was funny. Especially the stuttering dude, the stuttering boxer. He was hilarious. So Richard Pryor's body of work includes concerts and movies recordings. Richard Pryor Live and Smoking in 1971. Yeah, yeah. And what? Bob, Richard Pryor Live Smoking Need. I remember watching that one. And Richard Pryor Live. But yeah, Richard Pryor Live and Smoking came in 1971. And that N word is crazy. 1974 came out in 1974. Is it something I said? 1975. Bicentennial N word. 1976. Basically, a black version of Bicentennial Man. Let's see what Richard Pryor live in concert 1979. Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip 1982. And Richard Pryor Here and Now 1983. As an actor, he starred mainly in comedies such as Silver Streak. Good movie, go check that out. 1976. But occasionally in dramas, including Paul Schrader's Blue Collar in 1978, or action films like Superman 3, 1983. Rest in peace, Christopher Reeves. No, the best true original Superman. Well, the second original. I forgot that was one in 1940s. But yeah, and rest in peace, Richard Pryor. There'll never be another like him. And he collaborated on many projects after Gene Wilder. No, rest in peace, Gene Wilder. The original Willy Wonka. Before there was Johnny Depp, there was Gene Wilder. hmm Another frequent collaborator was actors and comedians writer Paul Mooney. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney. We lost him last year, as he would say. Paul Mooney here. No, I tell the complete truth. Paul Mooney. hmm Pryor won the Emmy Award in 1973 and five Grammy Awards: 1974, 1976, 1970. I mean 1974, 1975, 1976, 1980, and 1982. Good movie. In 1974, he also won two American Academy of Humor Awards. Shoot, it's very cool trying to win the Academy of YouTube Humor Award. That award don't even exist, but I'm gonna make it up for me, baby. See, uh-huh. Awards in the Writers Guild of America Award, the first Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, was presented to him in 1998. He was listed as at the number one on Comedy Central's list of all-time greatest stand-up comedians in 2017. That's what I'm talking about. Rolling Stone ranked him first on its list of the 50 best stand-up comics of all time. His early life. Ooh, no, this is pretty deep. He had a pretty deep early life, but here we go. Pryor was born on December 1st, 1940 in Pryor, Illinois. He grew up to a brutal in a brothel run by his grandmother, basically a prostitute house. And the way he described his grandma in his stand-ups, he wasn't nothing to play with. He run by his grandma Mary Carter, where his alcoholic mother Gertrude L. Nee Thomas was a prostitute. His father Leroy Buck Carter Pryor, June 17, 1915 to September 27, 1968, was a former boxer, hustler, and pimp. Dang, he boxed, hustled, and pimp. Good Lord. That's a lot of things to do. That's his daddy. He pimped you. He pimp smacked you, hit you with an uppercut, and he also made money. God, that's a triple hustle right there. I ain't supposed to condone that, but that's something different. That's like 2 Chainz. I'm different. Yes, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. But yeah, God almighty. After Gertrude abandoned him when he was 10, Pryor was raised primarily by Marie, a tall, violent woman who would beat him for any of his eccentricities. Pryor was one of four children raised in his grandmother's brothel. He was sexually abused at the age of 7 and expelled from school at the age of 14. While in Pryor, he became a Prince Hall Freemason at the local lodge. Pryor served in the U.S. Army for from 1958 to 1968. I mean, from 1958 to 1960, but spent virtually the entire stint in a army prison. According to the 1999 profile about Pryor in the New Yorker, Pryor was incarcerated for an incident that occurred while he was stationed in West Germany. Angered that a white soldier was overly abused at the racially charged scenes of Douglas Sirk's film Imitation of Life. Pryor and several other black soldiers beat and stabbed him, although not fatally, his career. In 1963, Pryor moved to New York City and began performing regularly in clubs alongside performers such as Bob Dylan and Woody Allen. On one of his first nights, he opened for singer and pianist Nina Simone. Back then, Nina Simone would have been like today's equivalent to Beyonce. Yeah, it was. I remember he said, kiss my tail quick. He said, what till you kiss my tail, but you can't see. You blind. You know the rest. He said, shut up. Man. He said, come on, throw it, you blind mother. You know, when he had them thick glasses. I also had the glasses so I could do the scene. I might have to find some like fake thick glasses to do the scene like in Harlem Nights what Red Fox did. He had them glasses like that's why they call me Eagle Eye Willie or something like that. But he shook like he had malaria. He was so nervous and I could bear to watch him shiver. So I put my arms around him there in the dark and rocked him like a baby until he calmed down. The next night was the same, and the next I rocked him each time. Inspired by Bill Cosby, Pride began as a middle brow comic with material far less controversial than that was to come. In his early years, he wasn't controversial. He was clean like Bill Cosby, that kind of style of comedy. And also like Sammy Davis Jr., the clean comedy. Well, Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't really comedy. Well, Sammy Davis Jr. did comical stuff, but he was known for singing. Then he got raw later on. That stuff make go. And what would come soon, he began appearing regularly on television variety shows such as the Ed Sullivan Show, the Merv Griffin Show, the Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Rest in peace, Johnny Carson. I remember watching Johnny Carson. I was a '90s kids because they used to sort of reruns back on Channel 29. That came on right before the 700 Club. So you get some comedy, then you get some purrs in your life. I remember that. That was Channel 29. I think it was ABC or something. Mm-mm. I remember the episode. He had the little orangutan. He was looking at him like that, and the orangutan was like, "But yeah, the Ed Sullivan Show would be what the Jay Leno Show is today. Tonight Show would be what the equivalent to what let's see Jay Leno would be like what David Letterman is today. Was now let's see. I'm trying to think who do the shows now. What's now is that young boy. I forgot his name. Used to be on Saturday Night Live. Well, he ain't that young, but he's still young. Let's see. Dang, I can't think of the new guy's name. But I remember the OGs, Jay Leno, David Letterman, you know. And Johnny Carson show would be like basically Jay Leno and David Letterman show combined. It's the equivalent to what they is what them shows. Them shows was the equivalent to what these shows like Jay Leno and Johnny and David Letterman is today. Basically, you know, I wasn't born in the '70s, so I just go by some of the stuff I remember from watching back in the '90s when they talked about him. Yeah, his popularity led to success as a comic in Las Vegas. The first five tracks on the 2005 compilation CD, Evolution Revolution, the early years, 1966, 1974, recorded in 1966 and 1967, captured Pryor in this period. In September 1967, Pryor had what he described in his autobiography, Pryor Convictions, 1995, as a epiphany. He walked into the stage at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas with Dean Martin in the audience, looked at the sold out crowd, exclaimed over the microphone, "What the blank am I doing here?" I told you I gotta keep it PG because they got some cussing on this one. This is the first time in Stingray history that I read a Wikipedia to y'all that got cussing, so I gotta make it PG. We know LL Cool J wasn't gonna have no cussing in that because he rarely cuss, except for in the movies. So I'm working with me, y'all. I'm trying to slip not to cuss while I'm reading this, so I gotta make the PG version. Cause this is raw. It's Richard Pryor, so this is gonna be raw. Okay, the microphone, what the blank I'm doing here, and walked out the stage. Afterwards, Pryor began working profoundly into his act, including the word, you know, the N word. His first comedy recording, the infamous 1968 debut release, Dove Reprise label captured this particular period, tracking the evolution of Pryor's routine. Around at this time, his parents died, his mother in 1967, and his father in 1968. In 1969, Pryor moved to Berkeley Ave, California. California, much love to California, and much love to the Midwest, Ohio, and much love to the dirty South, North Carolina, and much love to the East Coast, New York, and everyone else. In 1969, Pryor, Berkeley, California, where he immersed himself in the counterculture and rubbed elbows with the likes of Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther, Huey P. Newton, aka the guy who was the influence for Huey from the Boondocks name. If you read about the Boondocks, the character Huey got the name for Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther. I might have to do some content on him because Black History Month is right around the corner. And Ishmael Reed, I don't know nothing about Ishmael Reed. I might have to read about him. In the 1970s, here we go. In the 1970s, Pryor wrote for television shows such as Sanford and Son, Salute, a great black show, Sanford and Son, and the Flip Wilson Show. The Flip Wilson Show will be the equivalent to what Wild 'N Out is today. Basically, Flip Wilson was the Nick Cannon, the Wild 'N Out of the 70s. See how I can combine old school with the new school? I learned that from the greats. Now I'll tell you who my influence is at some other time. I ain't gonna tell you right now. I like to keep that mystery sometimes. But you already know in the other shows I told you. But yeah, Flip Wilson would be what Nick Cannon is today. The Flip Wilson show would be is similar to Wild 'N Out, but it's a little bit more like Saturday Night Live too, with the characters and gimmicks. When he played the lady character. Let's see who else. And in 1973, Lily Tomlin, special for which she served an Emmy Award. During this period, Pryor tried to break into mainstream television. He also appeared in several popular films, including Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross, who had been like the equivalent to Beyonce. In the Mac, rest in peace to the one who played Goldie. He recently died this year. In 1973, Uptown Saturday Night, 1974, Silver Street, 1976. That's my movie, Little Silver Street. That was funny. Car Wash, another good movie. 1976, that was a good movie. If you over the age of 18, check that out. Because ain't none of these movies PG-13. Only thing PG-13 I think Richard Pryor ever did was appearing in the Muppet movie and also appearing in Superman 3. No, in his early stuff. Okay, let's see. Bingo, Long Traveling All Stars, and Motor Kings in 1976. Which Way Is Up in 1977. That was funny. Grease Lightning in 1977. That was funny. Blue Collar 1978. And the Muffin Movie 1979. What up? What up? Negro Damas, the Great Negro Damas. Dang, Richard Pryor wasn't playing. He did two movies in 1977 and two in 1976. I guess the studios might have been together, but he ain't the only one that ever did that. 'Cause I think Eddie Murphy have done it before, did two movies in 1 year. It was some actor that did that. So I guess like might have been Marlon Wayans, but I guess like when they do that, I guess they do go to one studio, then go to the other one. How would that work? Or it might have been Dizel who I'm thinking about. Pryor signed with the comedy oriented independent record label, Laugh Records. Oh, even comedy had record labels. In 1970 and 1971, recorded his second album, Craps After Hours. 2 years later, the relatively unknown comedian appeared in the documentary Watts Stocks. I think it's Watts, California. 1972, wherein he riffed on the tragic comic obituaries of race relations in Watts. Yeah, Watts, California, I was right. In the nation, not long afterward, Pryor sought a deal with a larger label and he signed with Stax Records. Dang, that sounds like some hip hop stuff. Stax Records. The only Stax I know is Fleshbone. Well, I don't really know him, but you get it. In 1973, when this third breakthrough album called That N Word's Crazy, 1974 was released, Laugh, which claimed ownership of Pryor's recording rights, almost succeeded in getting an injunction to prevent the album from being sold. So basically, they try to stop him from selling the album. Player haters. They try to steal his shine. hmm Negotiations led to Pryor's release from his Laugh contract. In return for this concession, Laugh was enabled to release previously unused material recorded between 1968 and 1973 at at will. That N Word's Crazy was a commercial and critical success. It was eventually certified gold by the the RIAA. Where we heard it at when I was talking about doggone uh, LL Cool J. I about to say Lil John, Lil Richard. So IRA, like some company thing, like awards thing. So basically, that was like the equivalent to like the source hip hop is today, or back in the '90s, and won the Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album at the 1975 Grammy Awards. During the legal battle, Stax previously closed its doors. At this time, Pryor returned to reprise Warner Bros. Records. Shout out to Warner Bros. Gave us the best moves. Aha! Yeah, yeah. It Rich re-released that N word's crazy. You gotta say that with an ugly face. That N word's crazy. All my church family, if y'all watch, I hope I don't slip and say the N word. White people like, oh my gosh, you said the N word. I'm like, dun dun dun. I'm trying not to slip and cuss because it got cuss words on this one, but it's gonna be fun anyway. Okay, here we go. Uh-huh. Okay, immediately after it's something is it something I said his first album with his new label like that N word's crazy. That album was a hit with both critics and fans. It was eventually certified platinum. You gotta make an ugly face when you say platinum. Not gold, not vibranium, but platinum. Platinum's like gold and stuff. Yeah, I think you got diamond, platinum, silver, and all them other kind of metals. However that work when you selling records. I don't know the exact mathematications right now. I gotta study that. But I think when you get platinum, you good. You gotta make an ugly face and say you got platinum. Unity. Pryor's 1976 release, Bicentennial N word. Basically, it's like a black version of Bicentennial Man. I haven't seen it, but I heard about it. I think he's supposed to be like a black robot. But of course, it got the N word in it. You know, you're a black robot. Continue his streak of success. Oh no, I think it's a stand-up album. Cause no, back then they had them not CDs, but them big old black things that you put on the recorder and make the sound, and you play it. Vinyl, that's the one. Continue his streak of success. It became his third consecutive gold album. All right, gold ain't bad. And he collected his third consecutive Grammy for Best Comedy Recording for the album in 1977. With every successful album Pryor recorded for Warner or later his concert films and his 1980 Free Baseline Accident, Laugh Quickly published an album of older material to capitalize on Pryor's growing fame. That's cool. hmm I'm gonna have to do that with my content. You know, when I start building more fame, I say out my old material to build my new. It's old and new, like gold and blue. Free capitalized surprise growing fame practice continued to 1983. A couple of laugh albums tied in thematically with prior movies such as Are You Serious for Silver Streak 1967. 1976. The Wizard of Comedy for his appearance in The Wiz 1978. And The Same for Stir Crazy 1980. Pryor co-wrote Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is another controversial movie with Mel Mel Blancs, that's his name. You know, God bless Mel Blancs. He's still alive, kicking it strong at the age of 86. May God give him many blessings and many years to come. May God continue giving him wisdom to make us laugh. And Gene Wilder, another hilarious one, man. Gene Wilder would be like the Jim Carrey of the '70s, you know. In today's equivalent, he'd be like Gary Owens, what Gary Owens is today. Any white comedian you can think of is popping. And Gene Wilder probably was to play the lead role of Bart, but the film's production studios were not insure him, and Mel Brooks chose Cleavon Little instead. In 1975, Pryor was a guest host of the first season of Saturday Night Live. I remember the episode. He copped the extra stuff. He copped the extras and all that stuff, and he was had that controversial scene with I forgot that dude's name. Chubby Chase. No, not Chubby Chase, but no, yeah, it's Chubby Chase. But yeah, no, Dean Hackman, I think. Let's see. Saturday Night Live, and the first black person to host the show, Pryor's longtime girlfriend, actress, talk show host Katrin McKee, sister of Laurinette McKee, made a brief guest appearance with Pryor on SNL. Among the highlights of the night was the now controversial word associated skit with Chubby Chase. That's his name, Chubby Chase. When he said the N word, dun dun dun. He will he would later do his own variety show, the Richard Pryor Show. Was pretty funny. We played the first black Negro president, which premiered on NBC in 1977. The show was canceled after only 4 episodes, probably because television audience did not respond well to his show's controversial subject matter, and Pryor and Pryor was unwilling to alter material. So that was a little sensitive back then. It's like my white friends. I can't tell them about Richard Pryor. My black friends, they'll understand that if I tell my white friends about Richard Pryor and watch his movies, they're like, "Oh my gosh, did he just say that?" Dun dun dun. My black friends be like, "Ha ha ha, that N word crazy." Pun intended. But yeah, premiered NBC 1977. The show was canceled after only 4 episodes, probably because the television audiences did not respond well to the show's controversial subject matter. Oh yeah, read that. And Pryor was unwilling to alter his material for network censors. They offered me 10 episodes, but I said all I wanted is to do all I wanted to and for. During the short live series, he portrayed the first black president of the United States, spoofed the Star Wars Moss Eisley Katina, and exclaimed gun violence. So he played the first black president before he actually had a first black president, salute to Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Have mercy, Barack Obama. Violence and non-comedy skit, Lapud, racism and the sink. Examine gun violence in a non-comedy skit. Yeah, Lapud, racism and on the sinking Titanic, and even used costumes and visual distortion to appear nude. It was controversial. I like controversy. I'm kind of like the Richard Pryor YouTube anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. In 1979, at the height of his success, Pryor visited Africa. Upon returning to the United States, Pryor swore he would never use the N word again. N word in his stand up comedy routine again. Now we're going to the 1980s. While on the Freebasing binge during the making of the film Stir Crazy in 1980, Pryor doused himself in rum and set himself on fire. Pryor incorporated a description of the incident into his comedy show Richard Pryor Live on the Sunset Strip. I watched it on tape. That joke was funny. Not the freebase, not him burning himself, but the Richard Pryor Live on Sunset Strip. And I watched this Richard Pryor, I think, Wild and Crazy, whatever it's called. That one's funny too. He joked that the event was caused by dunking a cookie into a glass of low fat and pasteurized milk, causing an explosion. At the end of the bit, he poked fun at people who told jokes about it by waving a lit match and saying, "What's that?" Richard Pryor running down the street. Before his horribly damaged 1980 freebasing incident, Pryor was about to start filming Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1 in 1981, but was replaced in the last minute by Gregory Hines. Rest in peace, Gregory Hines. He died in 2003. Now, he was a tap dancer, and he was in that movie, Waiting to Exhale, shoot. And he could tap dance his tail off. Watch some old Gregory Hines skits. He could tap dance, boy. And girls, boys and girls. Likewise, Pryor was scheduled for appearance in the Muppet Show. That's unusual in a way. Rich Pryor ain't PG, but the Muppet Show is rated E for everyone. But he appeared on it. I guess the equivalent to me, like, got younger artists, I got the older artists. I'm kind of not PG. Well, I ain't really PG all the time, but I'm PG right now. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, that was cool. Rich Pryor, Muppet Show, Elmo, Big Bird, Bernie, Ert, the I was about to say chocolate, but that dude from Muppet, all of them, no, that's the right one. No, that's the Muppet. I'm talking about Sesame Street. You got Kermit the Pig, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Animal, and all them other Muppets. There's so many, I ain't trying to count all them jokers. Just the puppet people we call them. At that time, which forced the producers to cast their British co-writer. I mean, they British, uh, which forced the, at that time, which forced the producers to cast their British writer Chris Langham as the guest star for the episode instead. After his final performance, Pryor did not stay away from the stand-up comedy for long. Within a year, he filmed and released a new concert film, accompanied album Richard Pryor Here and Now, 1983, which he directed himself. He also wrote and directed a fictionalized account of his life. JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. That movie is funny. Check it out. If you're over 18, which revolved around the 1980 Freebase incident. In 1983, Pryor signed a 5-year contract with Columbia Pictures. Shout out to Columbia. They made a lot of legendary movies, even movies I can remember and watching in the 90s. I wasn't even born in the 80s and 70s, but they made movies that inspired me. And they made movies that were inspirational to me. Yeah, but we love Columbia Records. We wouldn't have had no Three Stooges. We never had no doggone Little Rascals. Little Rascals gave black people like Buckwheat, Stymie, and Fina, but Bullfema, whatever that third character was called. So, much love to them for giving black people spotlights. I think even Amos and Andy might have been with them. So much love to them. And for 400 million, he started his own production company. Shoot, I worked for Columbia Pictures for 400 for 40 million. I mean for 40 million. Boy, I like Columbia come up to me right now and be like, Stingray, cool, you want to work for us for $4 million? I'm like, yes. Where's that 4 million? Cash that check, put it in the bank, make it grow, and buy some land and all that kind of stuff. I was like, dun, 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 everybody. Shoot, 4 million, that ain't bad, especially from back then in the 80s. 4 million was a lot compared to now. California's cost of living is expensive. I don't know about back then, but shoot, you could move to the south or something. Well, he stayed in California. But 4 million ain't bad, boy. That's something you don't say no to. You gotta make an ugly face when you say that. You got like 4 million. Damn it. And he started his own production company, Indigo Productions, sophomore Formulac Formulac Mill films followed, including Superman 3 in 1983, which earned probably 4 million. Brewster Mills 1985, Moving 1988, and See No Evil, Hear No Evil, another movie he did with Gene Wilder. He played a blind man while Gene Wilder played a deaf man. That movie was funny. Go check it out. See No Evil, and it came out in 1989, 1 year before the Stinger was born. Yeah, boy. I mean, yeah, 1 year before the Stinger was born. The only film project from this period that recalled his rough roots was Pryor's similar biography debut as writer-director JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, which was not a major success. Pryor was also originally considered for the role of Billy Ray Valentine on Trading Places in 1983 before Eddie Murphy won the part. Despite his reputation for constantly using profanity on and off camera, Pryor briefly hosted a children's show on CBS called Pryor's Place. Oh, so he did host. Shoot, man, he hosts a children's show called Pryor's Place. I'm about to check on YouTube and see is that around? Is that still there? Like Sesame Street, Pryor's Place features a cast of Muppet puppets animated by Sid and Marty Krofft. Much love to Sid and Marty Krofft. They gave us the best animation. Along with people like Jim Henson. I think they would have been like the Jim Henson of that time. You know, I mean, there's so many puppet characters they done gave us. Sid and Marty Krofft. No, God bless them. No, they gave us good stuff in our childhood. It wasn't never probably. I don't think been no Muppets without them. I don't know much about them, but I know a little bit about them. But Jim Henson, I know way more about him. But I know some stuff about Sid and Marty Krofft. They was like the puppeteers, kings of that time. They could do it. And big puppets, little puppets, animatronic puppets. Because he had different varieties back in those days. He had animatronic versions. He had the larger puppets, smaller puppets. To be able to move like that and still do the voiceovers, it's pretty. You gotta be pretty talented and gifted to do it. Ask Jim Henson. 'Cause I can go back to like I think Cinema Secrets used to come on ABC back in like AMC. This before the Walking Dead days, like the early 2000s, late '99, when they had like the behind the scenes of people who do the animatronics for your favorite films like Terminator. see, Predators, uh, Mighty Joe Young. Man, so many. Cause back then before it was CGI, animatronics was where it was at. Cause you rarely, well, CGI wasn't around like that back then. But that was more depending on animatronics and less CGI. But no, CGI was stuff. So these would be the guys who's like the forefathers of CGI. If you want, I mean, of animatronics, if you want to say. Sid and Marty Croft, hanging out, having fun in a friendly inner city environment, along with several children and characters portrayed by Pryor himself. The theme song was performed by Ray Parker Jr. No, he did the Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters. There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. There's something strange and it don't look good. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Yep. See, however, Pryor's plays frequently dealt with more sobering issues than Sesame Street. It was canceled shortly after its debut. Dang, dang, but it still give it props though. Pryor co-hosted the Academy Awards twice and was nominated for an Emmy for a guest role on the television series Chicago Hope. Network censors had warned Pryor about his profanity for the Academy Awards, and after a slip early in the program, a 5-second delay was instituted when returning from a commercial break. Pryor is also one of the only three Saturday Night Live hosts to be subjected to a rare 5-second delay for his 1975 appearance, along with Sam Kinison in 1986 and Andrew Dice Clay in 1990. As he would say, "A Andrew Dice Clay." Basically, Andrew Dice Clay, he looked like as they would say, a greaser from the 70s. He had the little black leather jacket, the hat, and the slick back hair. Looked like Italian or Jewish. But yeah, he would be like what hmm, he would be like what Will Ferrell is today, basically. Pryor developed a reputation for being demanding and disrespectful on film sets and for making selfish and difficult requests. In his autobiography, Kiss Me Like a Stranger, co-starring Gene Wilder, says that Pryor co-star Gene Wilder says that Pryor was frequently late to the set during filming of Stir Crazy and that he demanded, among other things, a helicopter to fly him to and from set because he was the star. Pryor was also accused of using allegations of on-set racism to force the hand of film producers into giving him more money. One day during a lunch hour last week, film served handed slices of watermelon. Ooh, someone did something racist and stereotypical. Handed watermelon to him. You can't hand watermelon to black people. What you want us to get chicken too and shuck and jive? He probably said something like that with some blase, a lot of cuss words. Oh yeah, must love Negro Damas. It's the first time seeing you. It's the great Negro Damas. Of course, no Young Thug. Always glad you always coming back. Young Thug in the bizarre motherfucking building. Pryor appeared on Harlem Nights. Here we go. My movie, my dad's movie, my family's movie. We love this movie. Harlem Nights in 1989, a comedy drama crime film starring three generations of black comedians, Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Red Fox. Three generations of black greatness. Three generations of black films. Three generations of comedy stars, black comedy stars. Mm. Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Red Fox. Mm. All in one building. Wasn't it? The 19. Ah man, they ain't got that much to say about Harlem Nights, but I'm adding on my little bit into it since they don't got that much on there about Harlem Nights. That movie was funny. I like the one where he was shooting the gun and that little dude had the little gun. He said, "Quick, you gonna be there? You killed my brother. So you broke my nose." And they was like da 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 da. And then one dude had the little gun like pow pow. He said, "Stop shooting that little mother. Quit shooting that little stuff." He smacked the dude, and the dude they was like da 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 da. And the dude still had the little gun like pow pow. Then Quick had the gun like pow shot him. But yeah, that movie was fun. It's not for the kids. If you ain't seven, you gotta be 18 older to watch that. That movie have you blushing. if you white or light skin, but if you dark skin, you can't blush. So I can't really blush, but it will have you crying and laughing. Especially when a snagger dude was playing the dice. He's like, "Come on, six with your funky A word. Mm, come on, Daddy need a new pair of shoes. Mom needs a gold card." And he's like, "You need a new pair of teeth." He said, "Okay, okay, I'm having y'all that." And he craps. He said, "I tell y'all kids, bring me bad luck." Yeah, but yeah, that movie fun. You gotta check it out. That's how you rolling. 1990s and 2000s. In the later years, starting in the early to mid 90s, Pryor used the power-operated mobility scooter due to multiple sclerosis (MS). To him, MS stood for more S word. He appears on the scooter in the last film appearance at a small role in David Lynch's Lost Highway 1997, playing an auto repair garage manager named Arnie. Rhino Records remastered all of Pryor's reprise and WB albums for inclusion in the box set, and is deep too. The complete Warner Brothers recordings 1968 to 1992, 2000. In the late December 1999, Pryor appeared in the cold open to the Norm show in the episode entitled Norm versus the Boxer. He played Mr. Johnson, an elderly man in a wheelchair who has lost the rights to in-home nursing when he kept attacking the nurse before attacking Norm himself. This was his last television appearance. In 2002, Pryor and Jennifer Lee Pryor, his wife and manager, won legal rights to all the live material, which amount to almost 40 hours of reel-to-reel analog tape. After going through the tapes and getting Richard's blessing, Jennifer Lee Pryor gave Ronald Records access to the tapes in 2004. These tapes included the Tire Craps After Hours album from the Basis on the February 1st, 2005 double CD release Evolution Revolution. Let's see, Evolution of Revolution, Evolution, the Revolution. Now, the early years, 1966 to 1974, his legacy. Jerry Seinfeld called Pryor a Picasso of our profession, and Bob Newhart and Harold uh, Pryor as the seminal comedian of the last 50 years. Dave Chappelle said of Pryor, "You know those like evolution charts of man. He was the dude walking upright. Richard was the highest evolution of comedy. This legacy can be attributed in part to the unusual degree of intimacy Pryor brought to bear on his comedy as Bill Cosby. Cosby will say, reportedly once said, Richard Pryor drew the line between comedy and tragedy as thin as one. As so, that mean, cause I can see a lot of Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle. Cause Dave Chappelle tell the truth. He's raunchy, he's raw, he's edgy, and he makes you blush. Richard Pryor did all that, and I see a lot of Richard Pryor and Cat Williams too. So Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams like a new millennium Richard Pryor, both their own little twist, cause they are the truth and they will, and they edgy. I'm like the Richard Pryor. You two, I'm edgy, raw, and real with it, and I will have you blushing. Even if you dark skin, I'm gonna have you blushing. You're just gonna be blushing dark skin red when I get through with y'all. I'm gonna have y'all blushing and getting knowledge. Now I'm just gonna entertain y'all and y'all gonna have some knowledge. Y'all gonna be like, ha ha, like the little kid from The Simpsons. Y'all gonna be laughing, but y'all at the same time, y'all gonna be like, man, Stingray School, Stingray Cool that opened up something in my brain. I am motivated to do some new things I ain't never done. I'm like, yes, I did. I'm like, mm-hmm. Like you gonna be like in them old uh hokey commercials, hokey McLean, when they're like, thanks, Captain Obvious. Dun, dun, dun. Y'all gonna be like, thanks, Stingray Cool. Dun, dun, dun. Then I'm like, thank y'all. Come to say today. Back to Stingrayville after this. Awards and honors in 1998, Pryor won the first Mark Twain Prize for American Humor for the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. According to former, oh man, according to former Kennedy Center President Lawrence J. Wilker, Pryor was selected as the first recipient of the prize because a stand-up comic writer and actor struck a chord and nerve for America, forcing it to look at large social questions of race and more tragic aspects of the human condition through uncompromising in his wit. Pryor, like Twain, projects a generosity of spirit that unites us. They were both transcendent social critics who spoke the truth, however outrageous. That sounds like me with YouTube. Dang, I am the richest. As now I today declare Stingray Cool is the Richard Pryor YouTube. So basically, like what I told you, his legacy going to us, even through me. I'm not even a comedian. No, I'm witty, raw, sometimes raunchy, cool, fun, and humorous, but I give you the truth too, in a comedic way. And thank you, Dad, for blessing me to grow up off of watching Richard Pryor. I wouldn't be the man I am today. And that's the God and Jesus. In 2004, Pryor was voted number one on Comedy Central's list of the 100 greatest stand-ups of all time. In the 2005 British poll to find the comedian's comedian, Pryor was voted the 10th greatest comedian act ever by fellow comedians and comedy insiders. Pryor was posthumously awarded the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2006. Animal rights organization PETA gives out an award in Pryor's name to people who have done outstanding work to elevate animal suffering. Dang, even PETA gave him awards. I usually don't like PETA, but I make exceptions. Today, I like you, PETA. But they did that for Richard Pryor, so I'll make exceptions for PETA. But it still mess up what you did to Michael Vick, though, PETA. But I'm not going to hold it against because I'm in a good mood today because y'all did something for Richard Pryor. So I was, I'm let you slide. I got my own control of PETA. PETA like, shut up. When they leave, I'll be talking again. But yeah, in 1999, he was awarded the humanitarian award by the group and worked with them on campaigns against treatment of birds by KFC. What? You learn something new every day. I didn't know it was that serious. No, I was like, But I guess they do mistreat the chicken. I was like, they cut the chicken head off, chop and all that, and they cook it and stuff, and they put it in my stomach. I ain't know chickens got mistreated. I thought they just made them die easily. I guess they don't. Which the chickens ain't gonna suffer. They're gonna be bam, chop their heads off and do all the elevation of taking out whatever they do to chickens. But I guess at this time, Peter felt like they was mistreating chickens, so they saved the chickens. Artist Preston Jackson created a life-size bronze statue in dedication of the beloved comedian and named it Richard Pryor more than just a comedian. That's beautiful. Retrospect 2005 televised documentary entitled The Funny Life of Richard Pryor depicted Pryor's life and career broadcast in the UK as part of the Channel 4 series Kings of Black Comedy. It was produced, directed, and narrated by David Upshaw and featured rare clips from Pryor's 1960 stand-up appearances to movies such as Silver Streak 1976, Blue Collar, Richard Pryor Live in Concert, and Stir Crazy. Contributors included George Carlin, another famous comedian that was controversial, Dave Chappelle, the OG, Whoopi Goldberg, Ice-T, aka Tracy Ice-T, Paul Mooney here, and Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was controversial too when she was alive. She didn't play no games, boy. She was like the female Richard Pryor, a white female Richard Pryor. I seen when she clowns people, someone in the audience. She wasn't nothing to play with neither, no. God bless Joan Rivers. God bless Lily Tomlin. And God bless George Carlin. The show tracked down the two cops who had rescued Pryor from his freebasing incident. Former managers and even school friends from Pryor's hometown of Pierre, Illinois, and the U.S. show went out as part of the Heroes of Black Comedy series on Comedy Central, narrated by Don Cheadle. Oh, snap. Oh, that one a little controversial. We ain't gonna say that one. Okay, betrayals. In the episode Taxes and Death on or Get Him to the Sunset Strip 2012, the voice of Richard Pryor is played by Eddie Griffin in the satirical TV show Black Dynamite. hmm A plan by Ocker. biop- a planned biopic entitled Richard Pryor. Is it something I said? Was being produced by Chris Rock and Adam Sandler. The film would have starred Marlon Wayans as the young Pryor. Other actors previously attached include Mike Epps and Eddie Murphy. The film would have been directed by Bill Cardone and was still in development with no release date as of February 2013. The biopic remained in limbo and went through several producers until it was announced in January 2014 that it was being backed by Weinstein Company with Lee Daniels as director. It was further announced in August 2014 that the biopic will have Oprah Winfrey as producer and will star Mike Epps as Pryor. He is portrayed by Brandon Ford Green in the season one episode Sugar and Spice of Showtime's I'm Dying Up Here. In the epic rap battles of history episode, George Carlin versus Richard Pryor was portrayed by American rapper Z Lily. His personal life, Pryor met actress Pam Grier. Like I said, Pam Grier would be like what Taraji P. Henson is now. I said Beyonce, but Beyonce is a singer. But Taraji P. Henson is an actor. So basically, Pam Grier would be what Taraji P. Henson is now. The go-to spicy black ebony queen, that beautiful woman of color, the black woman, actress that didn't take no job for no one, as they would say back then, to all them job turkeys. But Pryor met actress Pam Grier through comedian Freddie Friends. In case you wonder, Freddie Friends is the daddy of Freddie Friends Jr. Freddie Friends Jr., he been in Scream or something like that. He been in all the movies from the 90s. Yep, yep. So his daddy is Freddie Friends. Kind of like Robert Downey Jr. His daddy was a famous actor, Robert Downey Sr. Then you got, see, what's the other chick name? I forgot her name. Uh, Kurt or something, but it's a lot of actors who daddies was like in old school actors from like the 1950s and 60s and 70s. See, I'm trying to think. Angelina Jolie dad was like a famous actor from back then, if I ain't mistaken. And it's another person I can't quite remember, but yep, I said, let me see. It probably come to me, but it's so many young new generation actors, parents like actors. Let's see, Grease. They began dating when they were both cast in Grease Lightning in 1977. Greer helped Pryor learn to read and tried to help him with his drug addiction. Pryor married another woman while dating Greer. Pryor dated actress Margaret Kidder. During the filming of Some Kind of Hero, 1982, Kidder stated that she fell in love with Pryor in 2 seconds flat after they first met. Their marriages, Pryor was married 7 times to 5 women. Patricia Price, who he was married in 1960 to 1961, Shelley Bonus, 1967, 1969, Deborah McCurry, aspiring model, actress who he married on September 22nd, 1977. He dated off for 4 years prior to the marriage. They separated in June 1978, and a divorce was finalized August 10th, 1978. Jennifer Lee, you know, see, they got married in 1981, and they divorced October 1982. Goodness. And they remarried in June 29th, 2001, and remained married until Pryor's death. Feline Malone, aspiring actress, they married in 1986. They met Pryor in performing Washington, D.C. in 1984. 2 months after they married, Pryor filed for divorce but withdrew the petition the same day. A week later, he filed for divorce again. Their divorce was finalized on July 1987. They remarried on April 1st, 1990, but divorced again in July 1991. Children: Renee Pryor, Richard Pryor Jr., Elizabeth Ann, Rain Pryor, Stephen Franklin, substance abuse. Yep, when Richard Pryor passed on in December 10th, 2005. His filmography, I like this right here. Write this down. Tell a friend. If they're 18 over, go check these out so you can learn something and mold and create your own little style on YouTube, your music, whatever. But here are influence movies that I watched. I wasn't even born in the 80s, but I watched some of these as a kid, and they have me rolling, and they'll have me rolling again when I watch them again. It pats to the next generation. I want y'all to get all this comedy gold. I said I was going to, here's the learning process I'm about to give you. I gave y'all the entertainment, now I'm going to give y'all some learning. But I ain't going to be boring with it, I'm going to be fun with it. Because you got this how the greats become the greats. You study from the best, you mold it, and create your own style from it. Bone Thugs did that with Big Daddy Kane. See, Cat Williams did that with Richard Pryor. I do it with, I'll tell you who my influence is some other time. I don't want to mess up the formula just yet, but you'll see these specific people. But anyone who's been watching me since day one, you already know who my influences is. But you're gonna see a lot of that come out on me because I said I was. But it's gonna be like just I know it's gonna be like the ones I studied in the '90s. I grew up off of, mix my own little twist, which give y'all some fresh comedy. Like I was, that's how I was raised off of comedy. You learned something from it, but you still was entertained. So y'all gonna make sure y'all learn something from me, but y'all gonna still be, and I'm make sure y'all still be entertained. But since I said that, since I got that out of the way, let's get to the future films. Please write these down and watch this, and watch all these comedy goals. You know, in 1967, Busybody, he played L.T. Whitaker. 1968, Wild in the Streets, he played Stanley X. In 1967 and 1969, Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, Unknown. 1970, Carter's Army. 1970, The Phoenix. 1971, You've Got to Walk Like You Talk It or You'll Lose It. That Beat. 1971, Live for Smoking. 1971, Dynamite's Chicken. 1972, Lady Sings the Blues. 1973, The Mac. 1973, Some Call It Loving. 1973, Hit. 1973, Watt Stacks. 1974, Uptown Saturday Night. 1975, Adios Amigos. 1976, The Bingo Long Traveling All Stars and Motor Kings. 1976, Car Wash. 1976, Silver Streak. 1977, Grease Lightning. 1977, Which Way Is Up. 1978, Blue Collar. 1978, The Wiz. 1978, California Suit. Ooh, he got a lot of movies, but we almost there. 1979, Richard Pryor live in concert. 1979, The Muppet Movie. 1980, Holy Moses. 1980, In God We Trust. The God. 1980, Stir Crazy. 1981, Bustin' Loose. 1982, Some Kind of Hero. 1982, Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. 1982, The Toy. 1983, Superman 3. 1983, Richard Pryor Here and Now. 1985, Brewster Millions. Oh boy, we almost there. But he made move after move after movie. He wasn't playing. 1986, JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. 1987, Critical Condition. 1988, Moving. 1989, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. 1989, Harlem Nights. 1991, Another You. 1991, The Three Musketeers. 1997, 1996, Mad Dog Time. 1997, Lost Highway. He made television appearances in The Wild Wild West in 1966, 1967, ABC Stage 67, 1968, Let's Go, 1969, The Young Lawyers, 1971, The Partridge Family, 1972, Mod Squad, 1975, Saturday Night Live, 1977, The Richard Pryor Special, 1977, The Richard Pryor Show, 1978 to 1982, Sesame Street, 1984, Pryor's Place, 1985, Billy Joel, Keeping the Faith, 1993, Martin, 1995, Chicago Hope, 1996, Malcolm and Eddie, and 1999, The Normal Books. In his books, it was Pryor Record Toast, Pryor Richard Gold Tide, 1995, Pryor Conviction and Other Life Sentences, York Pantheon Books, ISBN 978067932550500 OCLZ 3166029. I guess that's some area code stuff, but that was the story of Richard Pryor. Hope you like it. Much love. Stingray Cool is out, and God bless. Stingray Cool, Team No Sugarcoat. We don't sugarcoat nothing, because we ain't candy.